What's going on, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the Legion on Zoom. As usual, Chez, the one, the only, such, so forth. Yes.
And good. And I'm Miguel, not the one and only. There might be a few of me out there, but this is the one here. Yes, and in this universe, actually, too. I don't know. Shit. From the multiverse, but here now, trying to kill me. We won't get into it right now.
Miguel, well, I said 2099. And I'm Rod. What's going on, people? I'm repping my Spider-Man today since we're on the theme. I see Miguel is too.
Oh, Spider-Man. That's right. Chaz fucked it up.
I'm rocking Us, which matters more. So, and on a quick side note, I would love to meet the Miguel from 2099. That dude would rule.
He has mad tech.
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
Word,
I'm trying to meet him too. Shit.
Dude. Some fucking awesome news going on right off the bat. Let's jump into it because it's almost bittersweet to even hear about it, but it's like I stated it in the previous episode we did on our first season. I'm glad that they are going forward with the movie, but we finally got some news on Black Panther 2. It's been a while since I heard anything on the film, and it's a strong rumor, so it's not news, but we got our Namor, and it's a paisano of our fellow co-host.
Hell yeah,
His name is, I don't want to fuck this up, so if you want to take this over, because I don't want to get accused of any, cultural appropriation. I'm woke as fuck now.
Exactly. It's like, good job. That's actually very good. Or you very woke of you to noticing it, stopping yourself, or asking for help. Bravo. Fuck toxic masculinity and everything else. I don't know what the fuck. We got Tenoch Huerta from, you may have seen him in Narcos Mexico. Primarily, I think the first 2 seasons, he was the cousin of Diego Luna. Highly recommend the fucking show. He's the guy who came up in the series, portraying the guy who developed the Sin Semilla.
That's Namor. That's highly unexpected.
I know. So the strong rumors are that he's been cast as Namor. Is it Namor or Namor?
I don't know, but I always thought he was Asian in a live action format.
I go Namor to make it even more geeky.
Namor. All right.
I go Namor.
Namor. And I'm glad I'm glad you brought up that point, Chess, because I've been seeing that since the news came out, right? Obviously, we shared it on our Instagram, so follow us, Legion on Zoom on Instagram and on Twitter. We're active now on Twitter too, so follow us there. And obviously, myself as a Mexicano, I was fucking excited, and I loved them on the show. But immediately, a lot of people started calling out on that apparently Namor is mostly Asian, the way he's drawn. And I'm like, well, I never thought about that, actually. But once they pointed out, well, yes, I can see some artists may draw him more of the Asian,
Or, well,
wait. Namor is Asian? What?
Wait. Before we get called out, I literally...
He's Atlantean, right?
Wait. No.
What?
He's drawn with elven features.
Yeah, what is this Asian?
Elven. Let's backtrack so that we don't get called because you can see where that came from, but elven features. But once again, still, the dude, even though I did enjoy his acting in Narcos, which was off the hook, that shit was amazing. His acting was awesome. I never would have thought of him as a super pompous and high echelon regal character. You know what I mean? I didn't see him portraying that, but let's see where it goes. So maybe just a whole different take on Namor. We never know. Look at what they did with Aquaman. Look at what they did with Aquaman. You never know. They did a whole 180. On Aquaman. He's usually, super refined and kingly and stately and shit.
Oh, that's damn! You being a little bit problematic there, bro, because he doesn't look white. He didn't look kingly.
No.
Fuck.
No.
We're back to hashtag cancel Chess.
No. It's because the Arthur Curry that's being portrayed by Jason Momoa is a hard drinking bar brawler. He doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's heroic.
That was more like Jeff Johns, in the New 52. He integrated that whole story about, him being kind of, a drunk and down on life kind of character. And then the Atlanteans and Mera come take him. And it's kind of he's the fish out of water in Atlantis, right? Because he's not even kingly. But like you're saying, that was, again, Jeff Johns. But before that, Justice League Unlimited, like you said, he was very regal and shit. So
Yeah, exactly. Like
I
before
see
he
that.
lost.
I see
Yeah,
that side too.
But
yeah.
then
Like before.
what about the Aquaman that had the long beard, and without the hand with the fucking hook? Like he was like a rugged fucking. I'm assuming he drank, like because he looked fucking like that. Like I don't know. Like I feel it's
I try
not
to read
Yeah, but
that series.
speaking of Aquaman, right? We got some Aquaman news too. The title for the next Aquaman movie. What is it, guys? What is it? It's
Aquaman.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Ooh,
Thoughts?
damn! Like there's something that's more lost than Atlantis.
Word.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, what do you mean Atlantis, right? Like what else?
Like what the shit? It's what is that? That fucking hollow Earth theory. It's probably some shit like that. But listen, man, I'm in. I'm all for Jason Momoa. Like I called it. His Aquaman is the shit. The movie was meh, but it was entertaining. But it had potential, and maybe they learned from it. You know what I mean?
Word.
Like I'm all in. I'm all in, and I cannot fucking wait.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to it just because Jason Momoa has been a badass, and especially now after we got the fucking Zack Snyder's Justice League, got me like revved up for some more fucking dope ass Aquaman. But then and I'm glad that, for example, that they canceled the Trench movie. Remember they were supposed to make? Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Dedicate all that energy to this film, man.
Wait, so like it wasn't like the same movie? I always thought it was like the same like flick, like the same live action shit.
Nah, the Trench was supposed to be a second movie that's supposed to be like a spin-off within the world of Aquaman specific, which is like, who gives a fuck about the creatures that live in the trench? Fuck that.
Yeah, true.
Oh, wait. So it wasn't an Aquaman movie. It was like a movie just within like the Aquaman verse, but not about Aquaman.
Yes, kind of like what they're doing with the Spider-Man franchise, right? That they're what was it that they're making? Obviously Venom. It's been now more of a Venom franchise, but they're making the Morbius movie, right? They're gonna make a Kraven the Hunter movie. They're gonna make like a Spider-Woman right thing, So that's the stuff, like where the Trench was gonna fit in within that, but they canceled that. So fuck that.
That's such a stupid concept.
All right, not to deviate too much, but which villain do you guys think needs a movie? Like now that it's a trend, or it's becoming a trend. We have Joker got his own movie.
Bane.
All right.
Actually, in sticking with Batman, I don't know. I think maybe Mr. Freeze. I think he's one of the most interesting fucking characters, tortured souls, and I don't know. I could totally see him being like a Breaking Bad kind of thing.
Only if it's Arnold.
Yes.
Okay. Give me to redeem the character.
Give me a full Arnold Mr. Facts. I'll take that. And speaking of Mr. Freeze, I am a bit in a cold environment myself. If you guys want to go check out our YouTube, I have a blue light on, which means it's cold in here. Hashtag science.
Mm-hmm. But Rob, what would be your villain movie?
Damn, I don't know. I go Sinestro with Mark Strong as the lead.
Damn,
sold.
Damn.
Yo,
I don't know who my Bane would be. I have no idea.
Damn, we got to do the fan cast later on. Yeah, but speaking of villains, right? We also got some dope villain news as well. So we've known She-Hulk. It's happening. It's in production. They've had images of Mark Ruffalo on set. Now they gave us officially the casting for one. The villain is going to be Titania. We're struggling. Who's going to be played by Jamila Jamil, who she's an actress. A comedic actress for the most part. If you guys, you may have seen her most recently in The Good Place. Fucking love that show. And she's also, I don't know, for people out there fans of James Blake, she's married to James Blake, an awesome musician from England or whatever. Like she's British too, I think. But so she's gonna be the villain for She-Hulk. I don't know much.
Yeah, I'm kind of familiar with her, but like she's like usually in the intro to like an Avengers story where she's just randomly fighting them. She's like really jacked, kind of like I don't know, like a big Barda kind of deal.
Exactly. Actually, now that I remember, I do know her a little bit more because we've talked about the Immortal Hulk, awesome book by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett, and Titania is actually a key member of the story there, that she's part of what they're calling Gamma Flight, which is kind of like Alpha Flight, right? But Gamma specifically to track and contain Hulks in general. And it's
That's
her
a cool concept.
Yeah, it's her, and it's Absorbing Man and Puck from Alpha Flight, and also like Wendigo from I think it's Wendigo from Alpha Flight. So I know her from there. Exactly. It's like about a big woman that's badass and strong and can go toe to toe with Hulk. So, okay.
Yeah, we just about to say, I'm assuming just going off her name, her power is that she grows. Or is that she's just
she's
big?
super strong.
You're
No,
thinking
yeah.
Giganta.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about from Super Friends. Damn, thank you. God, that was so bothering me. For some reason, I had that in my head, but I'm like, no, this is Marvel we're talking about. But aside from She-Hulk, I don't know of any like female like Amazonian-esque powerhouses in Marvel, really, that I could think of. But there's some crazy shit going on that I'm honestly extremely shocked to find out. I might go past by it myself. It turns out that the Bronx is turning to be into kind of like a comic book mecca slowly. There's been a street in the Bronx that got named after Stan Lee.
Hell yes, exactly. I think we're excited to share this because I also didn't know. This just happened a day ago on Thursday, June fucking 10th, where they fucking named the street. Apparently, it's on University Avenue between Brand Place and 7th West on the 176th Street. For all those of you who are fucking New York City representing here, we got two of us in the Bronx, one in the Heights.
Yeah.
This is in the Morris Heights section of the Bronx, and apparently it's a part of University Avenue where he grew up.
Deep
Which
cuts.
is
I
now
didn't know that.
facts.
Was he born in the Bronx? Do we know
I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
This? Oh man,
Look at that. And Captain America's from Queens. No, he's from Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn, bro. Brooklyn, yeah.
Brooklyn.
Wait, but okay. Let's get
Spider-Man's from Queens.
Okay,
From Forest Hills to be specific.
you guys, your expensive comic book knowledge. Let's get real about this. Is there any singular superhero from the Bronx? Anyone? Because Marvel's all New York.
Dangerous. Damn, let me think.
Like who? It like has the Bronx even like? Does it come up in the Marvel universe? Like, what's going on?
I think it does every once in a while, yeah, but not like I don't think it has its specific like protector, right? Because we got Daredevil in Hell's Kitchen, we got fucking Luke Cage in Harlem. Fuck, and then everybody else is basically all over the city.
Yo, I'm sure there is one. Fans, let us know. There
exactly
Marvel has to have a character in the Bronx.
Let us know. And if so, we need to shine a light on this unsung hero. And I'm glad that you brought up that fucking Daredevil issue, which has always pissed me off. People that are from New York City will tell you, if you look at a fucking train map and you look at where Hell's Kitchen is, that's a very affluent area. The fuck you doing, Matt Murdock?
Word. Nah, but that's now. Like
he's protecting his clients. Like,
well, his primary villain is a white collar, right?
The whitest of collars.
So he has to operate from like a white collar neighborhood to take him down. I don't know.
Word. Yo, dude, I've always thought it was some bullshit. Like, I get it. They keep him in Hell's Kitchen. Like, I get it. It's too good to pass up. But now, it hasn't made sense for
right.
me. Like,
it makes sense with the history of New York City, right? Because he was created. I don't know what year he was created, but probably when Hell's Kitchen was a piece of shit. So,
of course,
the lore continues that spirit,
But I love the fact how, like, in the comics, they have to make Hell's Kitchen shitty to justify that he's there. Like,
his apartment is awesome, though. The Netflix show, I loved his apartment.
Hell yes.
Believe it or not, I was a bigger fan of his apartment in the Ben Affleck movie.
Deep cut.
Yeah, like, I remember, like, it was more like a loft, bat cavey type of place. He had like a secret panel and shit. It was pretty dope. I liked it from what I can remember.
He was training for Batman. Like, I think Daredevil was like a stepping stone for him to eventually be Batman, which he was awesome in. Shout out to Batfleck.
Like a decade later or something.
Bro, so far, like, one of the like most epic superhero resumes, Daredevil and Batman. That's hardcore, bro. That's pretty fucking epic. And now, this is a topic that I don't think we've ever spoken about on this show. This might be a first we've ever discussed. So I'm gonna go ahead and preface or preface? How do you say that?
Yeah.
Either way. Yeah, with a deep ass cut. Back in the day, Dolph Lundgren did a He-Man and a Masters of the Universe movie.
Yo, word, and he was jacked and all like oiled up.
Yo, oiled up as fuck.
Like, I don't know how much oil it took for him to film that movie. Like,
Yo, that shit was nuts. I encourage people to go watch that. Shout out to Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, that had to be post Rocky 4. Like he was like, you know, that on that rise. That was like his ultimate. Well, he also played the
I
Punisher.
thought that was no. Oh no, yeah, that was
Word,
post.
yeah.
We
Word.
gotta get his
Word.
timeline. I'll post it up right here. Which one was first, He-Man, then the Punisher? Yo, talk about epic resumes, right?
Facts, you fucking Dolph Lundgren on fleek.
Then he came
So-
back in Creed 2 and played Drago again.
Yo,
I don't know if you guys
like
saw that.
it's Dolph
Fuck.
Lundgren. Like you can't hate. He's a
Word.
god. But the other god himself with a capital G, fucking Kevin Smith has been. Did he just write it or has he been directing it?
Oh, writing, yeah, scripts for it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I don't know anything about it.
if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Smith is the current magic hand that's been the driving force behind this He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series. And now we haven't accessed our Zoom Tube Tech in a while. So we're gonna dust this off for the fans and we're gonna check this shit out. Guys, are you ready?
Fuck yes.
I'm ready to go.
It's
Let's
been a
do
minute.
it.
I hope I remember how to do this shit. We'll
Locked
be
and
right
loaded.
back. Fucking dude.
I don't know if He-Man's gonna keep me on Netflix, honestly.
What?
Let me watch Sweet Tooth first. But yeah, guys, let's jump into this. Let's jump into this trailer.
I
How
mean,
you guys feel about it?
like I said, I give it a 12.
I was pleasantly surprised, like like the music, that little drum.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sold. The animation looks dope, and as you said, fucking Mark Hamill as
Yeah, that's
Skeletor. Like, yo, he's been the Joker. Now he's gonna be Skeletor, another iconic villain from our youth, like childhood. Come on.
Do you
Yeah, I
guys?
mean- Yeah, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, do you guys remember your like He-Man character names by any chance? 'Cause,
I'm
like,
looking at them now.
like the dude that's like half cyborg. He reminds me of like you guys remember that old ass cartoon? I think it was called the Centurions.
Hell
when the
yeah,
dudes-
Hanna-Barbera, right?
Yeah, that they would like call armor and shit. Every time I see that dude, and I always forget his name, and He-Man and the Master of the Universe, he reminds me of that very much underappreciated cartoon.
Oh,
Yo,
I
it
think he's called Man at Arms. Is that just
Oh
it?
yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I thought it was like Man of War, some shit. I
Uh-huh,
don't
Man at
fucking
Arms.
remember. Oh, and shout out to Bonnie Tyler for holding out for a hero. That's the name of the fucking song. That song is way too epic.
So fucking good, man. Yo, Rod, what did you think?
I mean, He-Man is one of my earliest like childhood memories. Like, apparently, the trailer says that it's like 40 years later, so it's like a little bit before our time, sort of, but not really, right? Because we caught it when we were really, really young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it was already on syndication, most likely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, like we're not really familiar with all the characters. I mean, but He-Man, yeah, like that's like one of the most iconic fucking characters like ever. And the dude that plays Mon-El that played Mon-El on Supergirl is voicing Prince Adam, aka He-Man.
Oh, shit, that's crazy.
Once played by Dolph Lundgren.
And if I'm not
Very
mistaken,
oily.
word, he bathed in oil. If people want to get familiar with the characters, wasn't there like an older He-Man cartoon? Not that old school shit. Something that was made in modern times that's also on Netflix. About like his adventures as a kid or some
She-Ra,
shit.
right? Isn't it?
No. That's a whole new series that's out now, She-Ra. I'm talking about like an older series that was like it was about like Prince Adam's adventures and shit. Like it was more about him specifically. If people want to get like familiar with the characters, I think that's out there. But anyway, either way, this cartoon looks freaking amazing. And if people want to learn the history of the whole actual, like, not the lore, the actual history of He-Man itself and the creation on Netflix proper itself, there's a documentary, I believe, from a series called The Toys That Made Us.
Oh,
nice.
And there's a specific episode on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe because I think it's one of the few properties where the toy came first. It wasn't like that, oh, they made the cartoon.
really?
Let's capitalize on this cartoon. They made the toy and used the cartoon as a massive commercial for the toys.
Yo,
Yeah.
maybe that's what they mean with the 40-year, dude. Because I honestly got a little bit worried there because I was like, I googled it right now. So the first time the OG cartoon came out,
the
was
OG
in
shit.
1983. Right, so I'm like, motherfuckers, I was born in 84, right? You know, I'm fucking not 40 yet. Shit, like it's so it might mean exactly the action figure maybe came out. Fucking, it's not that far, like 3 years earlier. Because
they gassed it basically on the trailer.
yeah.
Man,
I think all of us who are like on the cuff were like, oh shit, like what? How old am I again? Shit.
Yeah, you know, Kevin Smith is involved. He's talking about it on his podcast, Fat Man Beyond, all the time. Shout out to Kevin Smith.
Yo, come on, that's more than enough to know that it's gonna be a good quality show. Like it looked fun. And speaking of He-Man memories,
I wouldn't give them that though.
What?
Yet.
What?
I think I got to see more. I got to see. I mean, the music was epic. He-Man is buff and it's very
the animation
colorful.
was crisp, bro.
I don't know what's going on. Like, is it going to be as engrossing as like a Castlevania, which I just finished?
I mean, also just keep in mind that he probably wrote that whole show high as fuck.
Word.
You kind of need to probably to work with a character named Man at Arms, like
Word.
Skeletor. Yeah.
Word.
But speaking of memories, I think also He-Man has given us one of the best fucking, what was it, like memes from back in the day. I remember back in the day, fucking at Rod's fucking apartment, watching that little video and say, hey.
Yeah, I was just fucking thinking about that song today, man. With the epic like gif of Prince Adam like jizzing with rainbows and stars and shit. Yo, I love that. That's like the ultimate ecstasy.
I mean, to be fair, that's pretty scientifically accurate.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We see rainbows and stars when we jizz.
Exactly, we do.
Some of us do, in fact, jizz actual rainbows and stars.
Should probably get that checked. probably not okay. Anyway, but so all right, so He-Man, we're all right. There's plenty of stuff in it that makes me. I'm definitely gonna watch the first few episodes, and then we'll take it from there.
That's like the most basic name possible, He-Man. Like, I am masculine. I am He-Man.
Is it basic or is it the most layered name possible?
Because man.
Because he is man.
And I'm sure like they wrote it first without the hyphen. Like, no, it says like him and no. What's missing here? Because hyphen. Jesus. Boom, blown away.
Because even like Batman, right? Like he's like a man who wants to take on like the image of a bat, but he's He-Man. He's a man that wants to be the pinnacle of masculinity.
Facts, and that's all that one needs to be.
Is He-Man the concept of the pinnacle of man above from the Superman? Right? Cause see, we got Superman, but now we got He-Man.
Superman is above though.
No.
He-Man is kind of toxic.
I beg to differ because here's the thing. That Superman isn't a constant state of who he is, right? But He-Man is so epic that Prince Adam, who's indeed already like a man, becomes He-Man. So he becomes more man than he already is.
Yo.
Anyway, I don't know if this will keep me on Netflix, but whatever. You guys are stoked. I'm willing to watch the first episode.
And of course, I mean, just like Miguel had mentioned too, the fucking toys are going to be ridiculous.
And just before
I think they've been revealed. So if they are, I'll just throw it up right now. Boom.
Oh, that'd be fucking cool. And I guess just before we wrap up, when does it come out? Oh, it comes out soon. It comes out on July 23rd, 2021.
Yo, He-Man is the pinnacle of one of my favorite words, engorged.
Okay. But yeah, we want to take a step back here. And first of all, shout out Miguel's Drink of the Week, our mini segment that we got going on each episode. What are you having?
Yeah, exactly. I was wondering, how are we going to segue this from engorged to the drink of the week? We got a classic. We got one that we've been mentioning before, Basil Hayden's fucking Dark Rye.
Keep coming at him.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's my favorite whiskey. I'll go through one bottle and then get something else just to try it, and then I always go back to be like, no, I gotta wash the fucking taste out of my mouth with some fucking Basil Hayden's Dark Rye. And you guys, we reached out to you before. Give us a shout out. Reshare this on Twitter or Instagram. Something. Come on now. Fucking
Come on,
word.
Basil Hayden's.
And also, just on
Word.
top of that, we got special delivery because we have to enjoy that with some fucking beer, neon lights, hazy IPA. No, people, I do not have a drinking problem. This is totally in control and appropriate. And
I was gonna say, if you're gonna mix your alcohol, you got to use more alcohol.
exactly. Come on, people. So we got some hazy IPA, neon lights from the Oma Gang, so local fucking New York fucking city, not New York City, but they're New York State beer. Cheers, everybody. Enjoy.
Cheers.
Yo, if Miguel's still doing the drink of the week when we're in like season 20, there will be concerns. Like
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Those once a week.
At
Yeah,
that point,
exactly.
it'll be the drink of the day.
I think we probably should add, to drink in moderation and all that stuff. Obviously, just from a safe environment, don't drink and drive, and don't it's obviously not impacting my ability to do this awesome podcast. So we good, okay?
As far as we know.
And while Miguel enjoys that drink, we want to just discuss, since it is Gay Pride Month here in June of 2021, we want to break that down. Like, of all the LGBT characters in all of comicdom, even peripheral shit, one big epic throwdown. Who you guys picking? Who's the most epic? I'm bringing back the who's more epic segment from season 1. It's been a while.
Who's more epic?
Yeah, I was gonna say we
you're
haven't
right.
done that in a minute. And if there's any reason to bring that back, is definitely to decide who is the most epic gay character in comic books. I feel like that's a discussion that's barely even ever had.
And I guess question just to be clarified for the fans out there, right? Because it is Pride Month, and it's not just about like gay, right? So it's about all the letters, right? It's those LGBTQIA, and it's so now are we selecting specifically the characters that we know are gay, or the characters who are just within that diversity?
Yeah.
Right, because we got plenty to choose from, especially from the LGBTQ.
For sure.
So how do we begin? Shit.
Okay, wait. Just one question that I wanted to ask Rod. Bit of a deep cut, I would say, because I haven't heard this character in a minute. Is Grace Choi gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
And
who's that?
She's a DC character, relatively new, created by Judd Winnick, and for The Outsiders. I forget the artist, but I'll throw that image up. She's damn, I forget. She's human, but she's just like really jacked, right? And she's like really powerful. But they had her in Black Lightning. She's like Anissa's partner, Anissa's Thunder, and they actually have her, but they changed her a little bit. She's not like the huge like buff character. She just has like these morphing powers, and I'll throw an image of that up. But yeah, deep cuts. Grace Choi.
Oh
yeah. Okay, like that's not my choice, but
maybe let's start at least to make this more challenging, because we haven't done a who's more epic in a minute. Let's start. Who would be the most epic one in Marvel, and then who's the most epic one in DC?
Yeah, fair enough. That's a pretty big question.
There's fucking plenty.
Well, I mean, because
right.
DC,
I'll go first, real quick, because it's easy for me. It's Harley Quinn, hands down. Like this character is so fucking entertaining. Like, I can't wait for the Suicide Squad in August. With Margot Robbie. First of all, I kind of feel like that is gonna be lit. Like, if I do like one of those early reviews like Ches does, I'm gonna give that a 12.
Yeah.
And then I'm waiting for the next season on HBO Max of the Harley Quinn show. Currently reading Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey on DC Universe Infinite, which is fucking awesome. So it's the
nice.
characters of the movie, the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn, but they're their comic versions. So like you get a much more Gotham Central Renee Montoya, you get a much more comic book Huntress. The movie was kind of accurate too, like, not to take away anything from the movie, but the comic book uses the lore of the comics, so it's a really good book. Highly recommended. So Harley Quinn.
Damn. All right, that's a good choice. Ches, what's up? You next.
Damn, there's a lot of choices, but
DC.
And I think they're DC, so just for the sake of like them being OG characters, original gays, I would have to go Apollo and his husband Midnighter. Also, also just in sheer scope of power. Apollo's one of the, like, is he a god? Like, I read his power profile. The shit doesn't even make sense. I don't know. I think it's actually Apollo, like the Greek god or some shit like that. But I would have to say Apollo and Midnighter.
Yo,
Like,
I've been seeing that on DC Universe Infinite, like the Authority,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I've been meaning to
Mhm.
check that out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who the writer was, but
I consider
Good.
like a I consider Apollo and Midnighter to be like those dudes. Like, if it was like actually real, they got married when like it had to be done in like a hidden location and shit, and they would get arrested. That's how long I think they've been together as a gay couple. It's been years since they actually got married in the comics.
Yo, actually, so good point, about who's the creator, how long. So they were created in 1998. That's the first time they appeared, right? And by Warren Ellis. We were just talking about Castlevania, which we'll dive into a dope ass review of Castlevania down the road in a couple episodes, because he's the one that did Castlevania the show. And so
Oh shit.
yeah, so he created both of these characters, Apollo and Midnighter. And I also don't really know anything. We were recently talking about it on our chat, and our chat got super excited and gave us a list of powers that Apollo and even Midnighter has. And I've been seeing it pop up in the DC Universe Infinite app, because there's also, right, the Authority. They have their own book. It was like a limited series, the Apollo and Midnighter. And apparently the thing that's interesting for me about that too is that apparently Midnighter's like super fucking violent, no? Like he's like gory violent. So like that'd be fucking cool to see.
Yeah, Tom
like
King used them a lot in his Grayson run, which was fucking awesome. The best Nightwing story up until now, this like new Tom Taylor one. But yeah.
He's like
shout out to Midnighter.
He's like a tad reminiscent of like Big Daddy from Kick-Ass. I would say, like, in his like violence or like predisposition for violence.
All right. So then basically you picked the combo though. You picked Apollo and Midnighter.
Yeah, because based on the fact that their marriage was a huge event in the comics, like, oh, two gay characters are getting married. It was actually like a celebrated thing, just like other famous comic book weddings, like Peter and Mary Jane, Superman and Lois. You have Apollo and Midnighter. So
wait, so can I add Poison Ivy then to my mix?
Absolutely not. They haven't gotten married.
Wait, but they've been like domestic partners.
You're promoting
for years,
promiscuity.
Bro.
No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding.
Bro, Mad traditional over here, Jess. Like, no, you're not married under the eyes of God.
I'm a weird combination of like progressive and conservative.
Like everybody can love everybody, but they gotta get married at a church specifically. Like if not, doesn't count.
This conversation moves to like most epic power couple now, right?
Yeah, word. Nah, I don't know. I was struggling in terms of who would I pick. I've been thinking Batwoman. I think Kate Kane would be, at least from, because Bat Family. Come on, like she's a fucking badass. She can fucking hold her own. Like
I forgot about Kate Kane.
Yeah, and like I recently read her run that was written by Greg Rucka, which we talked about heavily in the Gotham Central episode, the LOC Central, because he was one of the co-creators of Gotham Central. He wrote a fucking badass Batwoman. And although we've talked shit about the show before, which I'm the only one that's seen it and seen a few episodes, I think Batwoman could go, and I would just give a special shout out to, I think, to Constantine probably.
Oh, you know what's funny? Like I was thinking that because I was gonna say like in an honorable mention to Constantine, because all the characters that we've picked are only interested in their own gender or the opposite gender. Constantine, however, has been with men, women, demons. You know what I mean? Just interdimensional beings. He just loves.
Right.
Word. So aside the self-destructive behavior and the shitty attitude, we should all try to be more like John Constantine.
That's exactly right. He just fucking loves everything. Fucking is all good.
When he's not engaging in extremely self-destructive behavior.
Marvel. What's up?
Damn.
Marvel. Shit. There's, I don't know. What?
Pickles are slim.
I don't know. There's a few. There's like, we got from the Young Avengers, we got Wiccan and Hulkling. That there was another. They recently got married actually for the first, I think, like a year ago, and during the Empire event. So that was them. There's a few other mutants like Iceman he's gay. There's North Star also from Alpha Flight before. One of the biggest, if we're staying within the X-Men world, I know one of the biggest ones, Mystique. She's there's actually with right now the big comic book events right now with X-Men. She's apparently going to play a huge role in the event coming Inferno, because Xavier, you know how we've talked about before that mutants can die and they're resurrected. They don't allow people with precognitive abilities to be resurrected, and Mystique's partner, Destiny, is not being resurrected because of that. And so she's getting to the point where she's fucking pissed off, and because Destiny told her before she died, like, look, if they don't do it, fucking burn all the place down. And so there's a big
cool. They added
happening.
a limitation to that respawning power.
And also as you guys know, I just started to read The Way of X. That just got me super interested. And so apparently on Krakoa, sorry to diverge, but like there's a queue on the resurrections. How come? Which means that like you gotta wait like your turn. So it's not just don't go die off fucking like, hey, you know what? Like I'll come back later. How come people with precognitive abilities can't come back?
No, and for example, I'm glad you brought it up, because in Way of X, at least in the first issue, that's a big thing that happens with Legion telling Nightcrawler that why aren't they bringing back his like sort of girlfriend partner that they had, which I forgot her name. She was the character without any eyes who could see the future, because she's a precog, right? So she can see the future. She's not being resurrected, and so that's a big thing. There's that limitation, but we don't know why. And so they just tell the other mutants, oh, there's a long line. We're going to get to them. Don't worry about it. But secretly, Magneto, Xavier, and Moira McTaggart, who are the ones who created Krakoa and all this world, they specifically said, nope, we won't bring those people back to life. And they're not allowed in Krakoa to begin with, too. So, and we don't know why. So that's one of the biggest secrets.
Word.
So that's crazy. Like as soon as they get an all-inclusive like utopia, the first thing they do is exclude people.
Which makes it mad sketchy, right? Because like, what are they planning for the future that they don't want people who can see the future to talk about it, right?
Which,
so like, fuck.
Are you saying that this is the mutants at their most human?
Yeah.
Mic drop. Let's stop recording. I'm done. But anyway, damn. Okay, so damn in Marvel, damn, that's tough, dude.
DC's done a better job at promoting their characters.
Yeah,
I could name
exactly.
like so many much cooler characters from
Totally.
DC universe. But yeah, I can't really.
Hard for me to
I was
make a
gonna
choice.
default to Wiccan and Hulkling just because I kind of know about their history with that first run of Young Avengers.
I was gonna say Spider-Woman.
Which Spider-Woman? I don't even know.
Isn't Jessica Drew gay?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I actually don't know. I don't really
I believe I read some panels or an issue or so where I think they discussed her having an alternative sexual preference.
You know, and that's a good point.
Mistaken.
Really, like I don't know. Well, probably she. You don't know. No.
That's correct us if we're wrong. Let us know. Enlighten us.
But I think that brings a good point, like what Rod brought up too, because actually a lot of the characters that Marvel has, they're either ones that were not intended to be an LGBTQ character, and then were written into that. For example, a big example was Iceman, right? Classic X-Men character. But whereas in DC, they've been able to create characters from the beginning, have them be LGBTQ, and you know, they're successful characters that we just named off the top of our heads, right? Obviously, they've changed a few characters, but like Marvel doesn't. Other than North Star is one of the ones that was originally gay. I think also, like you said, Hulkling and Wiccan. And like, oh no, I guess Deadpool's another one. He's famously, you know, is like, what is it? I don't remember what's exactly the way he would identify, but kind of like Constantine, because he
pansexual or something like that.
I think so. Man, fans out there, let us know.
Welcome to the new world, man.
Damn. All right. And so if we were to pick outside of Marvel and DC, what else is out there? There would be besides, you know, in anime, comic books, image shit. What else? What?
Damn, this is tough because
I mean, I'm going Alucard right off the rip, just because first of all, I just finished the series, but we're gonna dive deep into that like on another episode. But I like the way that they kind of added that again, Warren Ellis, he added that to the story, right? Like that wasn't intended to be there, but he placed it in a way that made a whole lot of fucking sense. Like it, it just, I don't know, it was perfect, and I don't know. I just thought that's one of my favorite games growing up as well. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is one of the most awesome like PS1 games. Just to fucking age myself, but yeah, definitely Alucard.
And for the record, I did some Googling. In the Ultimate Universe, that Jessica Drew Spider-Woman was a lesbian. She came out to her teammates in All New Ultimates #4.
Oh, so that's probably why. Exactly. So in the 616, she's probably not, unless, you know, I don't know, in a recent one.
I
Nice,
remember
deep
reading
cuts.
something. Yeah, I know. Remember reading something like that. It was swirling around in this swamp of brain of a mind. Like it's just in there somewhere.
Yeah, and like the Ultimate's imprint was meant to be like edgier and to like be more contemporary, so it would make sense that they'd like, you know, take more chances with that.
Yeah, I'm also not just hoping that CBR is not wrong. Shout out to CBR.
All right, but dope. Alucard, man. That's a fucking great choice for non-fucking DC Marvel LGBTQ character. And I know exactly what you mean. Exactly. I think Warren Ellis just wrote, and it's actually impressive, right? Because Warren Ellis created fucking Apollo and Midnighter, gave us Alucard as well, and just god
Oh, yo,
damn.
shout out.
Mm-hmm.
He wins this Who's More Epic, Warren Ellis.
Yes.
Although, you know, there's the whole thing that we need actual people from these groups to write these characters. But hey, it takes somebody to start the movement anyway. And it just happens to be somebody in a position to do so. But I'm sure in the future, you know, we'll get more, especially since these like revelations inspire people, right? Like they inspire you to want to come out. These characters are heroic. And you know, kids are gonna see that, they're gonna say, okay, so it is I shouldn't be afraid of this, you know.
Hell yes, hell yeah, and exactly, and give it that diversity that there's all the characters that we mentioned right now. They're very different in their approach to heroism or not heroism, right? And so exactly, it doesn't give a fuck and get inspired to be a hero, fuck people up, or burn a fucking island down. Like just do you.
Word. And also just a quick shout out to, I can't believe we haven't done this, based off our book club, honorable mention to Renee Montoya, who's a Hispanic woman who's a cop in Gotham and the lesbian. Wow. Bane ain't shit when it comes to strength.
Yo, and she came out because she was forced to come out because of Two-Face.
Yeah.
Yo, there's layers here, man. And like her family kind of disowned her and everything. Like, no, this is exactly. She was, if anything, she might be the most authentic character that probably went through stuff that's probably more realistic.
Yeah, and on our IG, I posted a recent character appreciation post, but I don't think it was because of, you know, Gay Pride Month, or I think it was just because of the Gotham Central. So it just kind of worked out. So
yeah,
go to IG and check that out.
All the planets aligned. They just make perfect sense, and it worked out that way. Look at that. It just made sense. And now also, I was just reminded, one of the most powerful, and if I'm not thinking it's been confirmed, gender fluid characters, and as far as their preference, the God of Mischief himself, who was just given a show on Disney. You know him. You love him. His name is Loki.
Yo, superb.
Fantastic. Let's do it. You're right. Exactly.
Dive in.
Fucking gender fluid Loki just had his
None of us picked him, though, which is crazy.
You're right. Exactly.
And by the way, which just real quick, if just another, and he's another being who just loves, because in the comics, I mentioned this before in season 1, Hela is not his sister. Hela is his daughter, and I think her mom is a dragon.
Of course.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's another Asgardian woman.
It doesn't get more Asgardian than that, man. Fuck, man. Shit. A dragon.
Yeah, so he just loves. But yeah, dude, I give that shit a 10. Let's go into it. But yeah, I give it a 10. It was off the hook. I fucking loved it.
Hello Z reviews.
I know, right? Let's chill. All right, slow down. We're gonna do LOC reviews for Loki, and obviously for fans out there, it's gonna be a spoiler fucking rific a review.
Oh, spoiler alert here.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
So you were saying, Ches, you give it a 10.
Yeah, I give it a 10. I was hyped. The shit, like I was blown the fuck away. And just on a quick side note, I usually don't call out any sources or anything like that. I forgot who it was. It was one of the big reporting websites in our like super nerdy biome. I think it was either IGN or comicbook.com, but I think it was IGN. They give the show a 7. I mean, the episode 7.
Yeah, it was IGN. Mm-hmm.
And mind you, it was based. Okay, so the show was based on time travel, right? The review literally said that it depends too much on clips from past movies. That makes no fucking sense. The whole premise of the show is like you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like I read that and I've been fuming about that. It makes no sense.
You know, IGN guy, we invite you to come on our show and offer a rebuttal to Ches.
Facts.
That'd be awesome.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yo, I would love. I'm gonna double check and see if it's the same reviewer for the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I hated that. It also was like they gave him like a 6 or a 5 or something.
Man, that's what it deserved.
Yo, shut up.
All right, can I go next?
Wait. Yeah, let's not get into Falcon and Winter Soldier. Stay within Loki. All right.
I'm not. I wasn't gonna go into that though. No, I'm just saying. No. I'm just okay. The reason why I'm talking about like, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier and even maybe WandaVision is because this is the first show that truly feels like a Marvel movie.
Word.
It's an hour long, and honestly, to me, it was a movie, and not just that, but a sequel to Endgame, which is so far the MCU's magnus opus, right? And I mean, Infinity War, maybe Iron Man 1, the first Avengers, a lot of great films, right? But come on, Endgame. That to me, that was just like masterful in its execution and the way it highlighted all the characters. So yeah, there was time fuckery in that movie, and a post Avengers 1 Loki gets his hands on the cosmic cube in a hilarious way, and I actually appreciated seeing those scenes again. Even though like the cameras were less HD for those scenes, so apparently there's cooler fucking cameras. Well,
it was a long ass time. It was 2012, dude.
Wait for
but that
Avengers,
scene was from the Endgame film, right?
Damn,
yeah.
so it goes to show how fast shit progresses, man. That's
yeah, right, exactly.
No, but that's a good point. You're right. Before we go into the full review, exactly. So tell us what more happens on the show, right? What is it about?
So then he gets the cosmic cube, and because of that, he gets transported to some random point in time in a random place. I don't remember what it was.
It was in Mongolia for whatever reason.
Hilarious. Okay, first of all, Tom Hiddleston destroys this episode from start to finish.
Facts.
My God, I didn't even know I missed him so much. But yeah, so you know he transports to a different time and place, and that's when the TVA. Right, I'm not fucking up this acronym.
Nope.
Right. The Time Variant Authority.
Right, they which is an awesome scene and almost a Star Wars-esque scene, just come out and like these like troopers apprehend him, and they take him to this very bureaucratic court system, kind of like Beetlejuice. What was that weird like dimension in Beetlejuice?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, when people
purgatory.
Died, yeah.
Was it
purgatory?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking. I was actually thinking about the movie with Brendan Fraser and that animated monkey with Whoopi Goldberg that she plays death.
Yeah,
Monkey Bone.
Yeah.
Monkey Bone. Yeah.
Deep cut.
So you know, Loki is a variant. He like is existing in this weird. He branched away from the natural flow of time as per the Time Lords, which are giant space lizards or some shit. So and the MCU expands in this one episode in a crazy way. They just blow it open again in the way that Guardians of the Galaxy kind of does. So basically he's into this, like he's a variant and he must be dealt with. Enter is that
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Right?
Pleasant
Wait,
surprise.
which one is the one on Stargirl?
Luke Wilson.
All right, cool.
Yo, they're making money.
Yeah, one is Marvel, one is DC.
Wait, has that happened yet? They're the first brothers, right? The only ones.
Yo, and he's great. So he's like an agent.
I like it. Yeah. Word is
Yeah, actually, I think doesn't the show open where he's like investigating a murder, a murder of TVA agents, and he's like a detective kind of deal,
right? Like in medieval times or something.
Yeah.
Too, right.
Where I think it was like in 1884 or some shit like that. But it's like they try to feed into the Mephisto bullshit.
Word.
Maybe.
Exactly. There's this scene exactly at the beginning, you're right, or at least at the first time we see Luke Wilson investigating this death in a church. I thought medieval, but you're right, maybe not that old, but in the past. And they find it's in France, and they find this little kid, and they, the kid has gum and shit. So obviously he's been in contact with the time variant that they're hunting. And they ask like the kid, right? Like, who did this? Who all the shit. And he points to this ¿cómo se dice? The glass thing from the churches. What's that called? The
stained glass.
Yeah, something
stained
like
glass, yeah, right? It was something something like that, where it's the devil, right? And so obvious for all of us, it's like, oh, motherfuckers, Mephisto, like really, you're immediately bringing that up, like that image to us, and so that's kind of like where people might think Mephisto, because then Luke Wilson says something to the she says something like, don't worry, that devil's more afraid of us than we are of him. And so it's like, oh, all right, well, we'll see what's up with that. But then what else happens in the show?
Yeah, I didn't really get a Mephisto vibe, but what does Loki become? Mephisto?
It's a devil. What do you not?
It's literally a devil on a church window. Like what?
How did you not get Mephisto? Like, what did you think?
Yeah,
because
now, nah, that's just like a scene.
All right.
If there was like,
they're gonna keep trolling us, man.
But out of everything we've seen on Disney Plus, if this is the one time somebody like, it was the devil on the drawing.
Yo, Kevin Feige is still trolling y'all. Look, y'all still looking for Mephisto in places he is not, or is he?
No,
and then the most the pointing to a devil. Loved it. But yeah, all right, continue.
Kevin Feige, bro, he's brilliant, and he really. I mean, again, there's a whole creative team behind this show, and they all fucking nail it. So yeah, he basically he needs to recruit this time variant Loki to stop another time variant Loki, who's apparently, like he's survived the TVA. He hasn't been like eliminated from, time and space. Well, so they make it seem right.
Well, and just to point it out exactly, you just skipped a bunch, because that's the big reveal at the end, right? Because Loki's struggling to be like, I'm not a variant, I choose my own path, and then slowly coming to terms with seeing, because then he gets to see his whole life that we've seen in movies.
Oscar, give him an Oscar for that.
Yeah, so I was saving that for the review part, but go ahead.
What is this?
No. I meant like for us really break down the show and like talk about what we liked about it. But yeah, that's a synopsis. That's out of the way.
You're right.
Yes, the process of this Loki like discovering like what happened to his actual timeline self, who we see end in Infinity War, and all this shit. Like I loved it. I thought he like I said, he nailed every scene. The whole episode was great. I'll think about my rating, but you guys go ahead.
I think just for the fans out there right now, if you're listening to us right now, wherever you get your podcast, you guys, go to YouTube, and you'd see that Ches just switched to green to match the fucking Loki green right now.
Facts. And that's because I give it a 10. Unlike our last episode, which was Jupiter's Legacy, I will only talk about shows in their appropriate rating light. Loki was the shit. When he saw his own death, he deserves a fucking Oscar for that. Dude, like the range on this, like it's crazy. Like it's crazy how much effort. I don't know if it's because he's just so talented that it's so easy for him, or if he puts that much fucking effort into playing the role. Like he really takes that shit seriously.
He's also actually, I was surprised to see at the end when they rolled the credits, he's one of the producers, and I think he's one of the executive producers. So, he cares about this character, like he's really fucking invested in it from a character standpoint, actor, and financially, because he's fucking putting in money to make the show.
It's one of those situations where he's the first live action incarnation, and he's good at it. Own the shit. Don't do the fucking what's this dude's name? Tobey Maguire, that he didn't want to do the rest of the Spider-Man movies. Like these dudes now, when they get a character, they're like, nah, I'm gonna retire off this shit.
That's why I love Tom Holland. Tom Holland said, like, I would be Spider-Man till I can't. Like he's down. Tobey Maguire, man. The fuck, bro.
Tom Holland's gonna be Spider-Man so long he might have a psychotic break and actually think he's Spider-Man.
All right.
Have you seen his workout videos? He basically is becoming Spider-Man.
Yes.
Word.
All right, so Chess gave it a 10. Rod gave his thoughts so far, but haven't given a number. All right, my turn to give a review. My thoughts. This is I want to say this is actually why I love you guys. I love you guys. I love the show because we have different points of views.
Better watch your fucking mouth.
I was very underwhelmed with the show. I agreed with the IGN review. Like I was expecting a lot more because first of all, it seemed like, for example, Marvel has this show called Marvel. What is it? Legends, right? Exactly. Where they do this whole review of like, because we saw the recap for Wanda, Wanda, and then the recap for Vision. I legit think this is what this was in a different way. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what Loki went through. A lot of it was just scenes that I've seen before, and I'm just watching Loki watch it, and it's like, okay. And so that didn't really, impact me too much. And I like what Rod said exactly. They really did shake up the Marvel universe to its core in a very strong way. That we haven't really seen that in a while now, actually, right? Where they mentioned that there's been multiversal timelines before that were at war. And
that shit blew my mind.
That was dope. Exactly. And then it got merged. And then the timekeepers, these three lizard gods, kind of make sure it's all in peace, and then they have the time variant authority to make sure it's not happening. So that's a cool premise. But my one of my issues with the show was, one, it was a comedy. I'm like, I wasn't expecting a comedy. Like everything was a joke. Everything's like not serious. Everything's like, oh, look at how funny, how ridiculous it is, which it makes me then not care. Like, do those time variant, those like timekeepers matter, or are they a joke? Right? It's like I don't really care much for that. It was just too much of a comedy, too much revisiting the past. I'm like, yes, I know all this. I went to the fucking theater to watch this, and all just for it to then. I thought it was a very good setup. It's a good setup. I'm like, I hope the rest of the season is going to be great, that we don't have to see things, because even, for example, we had this one awesome scene at the beginning that I was excited from the trailer, that apparently Loki's DB Cooper, right? For those out there who might not know, it's a one of the biggest like heist type of historical that actually happened. Some guy got on a plane, I think it's in Seattle or somewhere in Washington, and then stole fucking money and shit, like hijacked the plane, and then eventually jumped out of the plane.
Word.
And was never found. And it's like one of those big, like, mysteries like that. And they showed us in the show that it was him, that was Loki. But why did they show us that? Just because he lost up, because it was a scene telling us the past of Loki, and that this was a prank, because he lost a bet to Thor. And it's like, oh, okay. It's funny, but it's like, I didn't want to watch a comedy only, It's like, oh, okay. And
but that's
what.
Now I was gonna say, that's the thing. Like, I think like you're focusing too much. Is like, how does the saying go? Like, I think that you're missing the forest for the trees. Because, like, all right, so peep game. So what they're showing you is, yeah, you didn't like that whole DB Cooper thing, but it's showing you that like the Asgardians are so fucking powerful that altering the course of history to them is a joke.
No, but they didn't alter the course of history. They weren't traveling in time. So it's like they were just doing themselves, and that's it. And we know, like we know Thor's been on Midgard on Earth before and been like a god to the Vikings, and it's like, okay, it's just a funny scene. Like it had nothing to do with the story. Like it's like, okay, right.
But it also, like.
I have one last big ass fucking critique to make that actually I don't think you guys haven't seen. Then this whole the whole funny thing, like, look, it's this time cop kind of bureaucratic center. Yeah, I've seen that before on Netflix with Umbrella Academy. They did it better. Umbrella Academy focuses all of that. Number 5, the character from this is created by Gerard Way. He travels in time with his powers, and then there's the commission in Umbrella Academy, which is exactly this. That's their job, to maintain the timeline, and make sure nobody fucks up. And the big thing with him, it's all super bureaucratic. It's a bunch of paperwork and all these kinds of things. And I'm like, I just saw that, and I saw it done better. Also, because in the comic books, the time variant authority isn't such a big thing. It's not, I don't know, something I don't really know too much about. And I think for me that like, we've had what 2 seasons of Umbrella Academy already. So that felt for me was like, come on, this is way too similar to it. Way too similar. Like, well, all right, there's nothing new here. Like it's fucking ripoff to Umbrella Academy. So it's like, okay, so
yeah, the Jupiter's Legacy effect, right?
Well, what
do you mean?
You know, after seeing Invincible, Jupiter's Legacy was a piece of shit because we already saw
Jupiter's Legacy was a piece of shit without
you guys
Invincible.
Hated.
Had Invincible never come out,
and I'm just playing, but
no, but that's a good point. That's a good point, exactly.
But back to Loki. So I didn't see that perspective. That's a good point. Like I didn't see that part of it. But for me, it was more. Here's why I loved it. It didn't really have to do too much with the TVA and their like crazy like authority, and they're kind of goofy in a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of way. It was more his analysis of Loki, because you know we've seen Loki in cinematic format for years, in these very brief moments of deviousness, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I actually enjoyed watching all of his, like a montage of the best of Tom Hiddleston as Loki. That's what you're getting in this episode. It's true. It is like the first episode to like kind of bring you into the lore. But I thought him reacting to it and him answering his questions and then questioning himself and feeling powerless. Yo, this shit added so many layers to the character that it reminded me of Netflix. And not just that. This is the first show that I feel like this is what I wanted out of these shows. And I think this was the first show that was supposed to come out or no.
No. It was, I think WandaVision was the first one. Oh no, I think or Falcon was supposed to be first, but Loki's after. No, that's a good point.
Yeah, I just like that analysis of the character. I don't know. These characters can be very one-dimensional, and they gain qualities in the movie, but then the show really puts a lens on them. And I thought this lens on Loki's character and his motivations was fucking awesome. So I'm gonna give it a 9.
What was your rating, Miguel?
All right, so I haven't given it yet, but but I agree exactly with some of the things you guys have said. I agree, because I do agree the acting was superb. I love that everybody acted fucking their asses off. The script's a good script. Every line was a good line. I didn't love that it was all just such a comedy, because then at the end, I don't think does it even matter? Like, am I supposed to care? Because I don't right now, right? Because even with the big reveal at the end that they need Loki to capture this other time variant who's been eluding them and killing the other members of the TVA, it's Loki himself. It's like, okay, like, all right, I guess. Like, I hope I'm trusting Marvel and Kevin Feige that they're going to make it more interesting, because on the contrary to what you're saying, Rod, like you wanted something to resemble the MCU. I think for the shows, I want something different. Like, I don't want the same thing. That's why I love WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, because they were different enough that they grow the character. I'm still hoping that the rest of the series is going to be good, because I feel this had to be the setup. It was all a setup. Yeah, it's all just setting up what's the story. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But I'm like, all right, I wasn't really entertained. I'm gonna give it a 7. This first episode, like whatever. I might even give it a 6 actually, but I don't know. I think
gotta settle. Gotta settle.
Oh right, we got to figure it now, right?
Is it a 6 or a 7? What did you give it?
What did you give it, Rod? You gave it a
9.
10. You gave it a 10. I'm gonna give it a 6. Let's be fucking honest.
He's an outlier.
So, all right.
8.3.
8.3, yeah.
8.
All right. 8,
all right.
not bad.
Stop being scientific. Yo, why is he the Joker I never knew I wanted? Like, I think, take a step back, fucking Joaquin Phoenix. Like, all due respect. But, I felt like if he ever wants to do another film or franchise, which he probably won't, he probably, like, really, live with his character for a very long time. But, damn. He was just so good, and he's jacked, and his range is crazy. Like the agent even questions, like, like why are you this way? Like, why are you so grandiose? Why do you think you're always winning? And I just thought that was just so cool. Like, because I never thought to ask those questions of the character. I just thought he's the mischievous guy, so he's gonna be mischievous and sometimes heroic. And ultimately, like as a fan, we root for him and shit. And I felt like I was rooting for him this whole episode. So even though it was funny, I did feel like his fate was like limited. Like he was meant to be wiped out, or so they make it seem, right?
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of smoke and mirrors.
But I love how like they hit him with the soul crushing sentence when he was in the room. Like, your purpose is to be defeated over and over and allow others to reach the best version of themselves. That is the antithesis of what he believed his reality to be. Straight up black and white. And the one note that I want to take is real quick. Going forward, I think that Marvel better. I mean, not even that I have to say it, because fucking it's Feige, but they're treading on like with like tectonic plates. So we're dealing with the TVA, which they use Infinity Stones as paperweights. Just I'll leave it there. Then now we're getting the Eternals movie. So it's like we're dealing with a massive order of power. They're gonna have to explain what lies where. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who are the Eternals in relation to the fucking Time Lords? Like, shit's like it's crazy. Like, those giant dynamics have to be explained.
No, exactly. And that's a big thing. Exactly. They have to really explain. They've done such a good job at really the world building with the MCU and see where this falls in all of that, right? Because as we've seen in this episode, Loki has no powers there, right? And even they make jokes of the Infinity Gems, right? The Infinity Stones, that they're just paperweights, and they have them from different like timelines, and they have the como se dice, the cosmic hue, the Tesseract. It has no power, and so immediately dwarfs everything we've seen before in the MCU, and it's like, what? So it hopefully they explain it, in a way that where does this all land? Because exactly as you're saying, because now you're building the Eternals, so then it's like, wait, do they not matter? Is this more like what's all this? And as we've talked about before, like we know Captain America's a variant technically because he stayed in the past. Like, I hope this open exactly. We'll see what happens, right? Like I don't know.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because I like that as well. So within the TVA, like throughout most of this episode, you're in there with Loki, right? He's their prisoner. And they have Infinity Stones just lying there. And I thought that was a great scene as well. I loved it. But outside of the TVA, they're killable, because at the very end of the episode,
oh yeah, you're right,
we see like this shrouded fucking dark Jedi fucking Lord character. Like he just sets some TVA guys aflame until the episode ends, and we're led to believe by the agent that that's another variant of Loki. So
right, that's
really
what we're
cool.
That's what we're led to believe, no?
Yeah. So it's like they're all powerful in their jurisdiction, but outside of it, like they're not. So how are they gonna get this guy and whatever?
Yo, word, that's dope. That I'm down to fucking get that explained and like see all that.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yo,
fucking missing the forest for the trees.
Speaking of Captain America, though, this is something I didn't know. I've been seeing this pop up on Instagram and fucking Twitter a lot about apparently there's people, tinfoil hats on, people, everybody right now, fucking
go for
3 a.m. shit, that apparently there's like a Peggy Carter cameo on the show. There's that scene where I think he's being brought in. I think that's right at the beginning he's getting brought in. That in the background you see them bringing in another variant, and has this she has the variant como se dice, uniform that he gets too, but she has this old school hairstyle that a lot of people have said that it looks very, very Peggy Carter-ish. What do you guys think of that?
I think I saw that. Way. Didn't they bring in another prisoner too? That it was somebody like aside from Peggy Carter? Like it was more than one, wasn't it?
Well, there's that one guy that we saw got fucking killed. Just destroyed.
No. But I think that just like Peggy Carter, they brought someone else in the background. Like that happened more than once. But yeah, dude, the scope of this show, when you really think about it, it's too crazy. Like, all right, it's just a show. If you really want to just admit it, the scope of it is bigger than Infinity War.
Damn.
Wildin'.
Think of the beginning.
On
the beginning of the show states that there was an interdimensional war of the timeline,
multiversal war, which actually then with that's what a lot of people, that's the other thing, are saying that, remember, what's the next big film besides Black Widow, which eventually we'll see
with the multiverse of madness.
Exactly. Yo, so multiverse of madness, there was a multiverse of war about the timeline and shit. Like, and that confused me because it's multiverse and also different timelines, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like it's cosmic chronology.
Yeah, right.
No.
The multiverse exists, right? Anyway, or it doesn't, and it's all just one. I'm like,
variants create the multiverse, right? If the TV doesn't, like, according to the show, Loki episode 1 at least, if the TV doesn't like apprehend the variants, they branch off into like more infinite fucking timelines or multiverses and shit. So that's their job, to keep it all as one stream,
bro. And I just wonder if we, let's keep going on that fucking rabbit hole, right? If variants create the multiverse, so we're assuming there was one universe, one timeline, and the first variant created the first timeline, who would be the first fucking variant? Is Kang the Conqueror fucking going to be introduced soon? Ant-Man Quantumania?
Word. And also, I just realized an explanation to the Captain America thing that they're gonna smack us with. They let him rock because he put the stones back. They're like, you know what? You cleaned up the mess. Go ahead.
Dang, like, you're right, because they did make that comment in passing, right? Because when Loki was like, I'm not the criminal here, it was the Avengers. They did the time travel shit, and that's why I'm a variant. And they were like, that was supposed to happen. So it's like, oh shit. So you're right. Maybe that's why they're letting Captain America chill.
I wonder if the Russo brothers knew that there was going to be a Loki show when they wrote that scene of him getting the cosmic cube and vanishing.
Feige knew all of that.
Yeah,
Feige knew.
Feige knew all of that.
When Feige did Iron Man 1, he knew this was happening now.
Yo, you took the words out of my fucking mouth.
Yo, which makes me really hyped for the Kang the Conqueror now.
Yo,
basically this show reignited like my MCU, because honestly, MCU is awesome. It's hit after hit after it's unbelievable what they've done. It's the #1 grossing franchise of all time for a reason. But I felt like Endgame and Infinity War, that combo was so amazing that I feel like I'd be shocked if they ever top that, but I wouldn't put it past the almighty Kevin Feige.
Yo, they're fucking reaching, bro. Like, just look at where they're, the Eternals, the Time Masters, Shang-Chi. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but let's just throw that in there. Like, yo, they're going further than the Infinity Stones. That's what I'm saying. They better tread carefully, because shit, like, one slip up could throw off all their calculations story-wise.
Yep.
Like, but Feige, it's Feige. It's Feige. Fuck it.
In Feige, we trust.
# infallible Feige.
Yes.
Shit. And on that note, man, I'm gonna go on Amazon and get some thumbtacks, a cork board, and some red string. I'm gonna Pepe Sylvia the shit out this show.
Yo, we should. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Good shit, man. It's crazy. And on that fucking, I'm Chez. I can't. Bye, guys.
I'm Miguel. Peace.
All right. Peace out, people.
Later.